I'm going to start this video by asking you guys a question. Is this how you pictured your life would be when you was 5 to 6 years old? I want you to take it back to the days of when you was in school. What sort of friends did you have around you? What sort of influences? What were you like growing up? Were you more of a shy kid, introverted? Or were you more outgoing as an extrovert? And I want you to take it back to what your personality was like then, what your fears were, the people around you, what you believed you were capable of, and how that compares to your current beliefs today. See, in this video, we're going to be talking about what actually shapes our personality. See, we need to break this myth of believing that we are all self-made. Whenever you've got the belief that you're self-made, what ends up happening is you believe that everything is a direct result of what you've done in your life. You fail to look at the other external and internal factors that are currently shaping your beliefs, your worldview, and your philosophy. These are the things that actually determine what you're going to pursue in life. Not your circumstances as much as what you can internally create in your own world. So I'm going to tell you guys my story and let's see if you see some similarities. So growing up myself, people won't believe it, but I was actually a shy kid growing up. I wasn't this extrovert person, that sort of side of my personality came in. So from as early as I can remember, I was conditioned to try fit in with all the other kids around me. That meant I would look to them to determine what side of my personality to bring out. If I thought a side of my personality would stand out, I wouldn't bring that side of my personality to the forefront when I was speaking to them. Maybe you guys were different. Maybe you guys weren't introverted and shy like me. Maybe you were pretty much the popular kid growing up. But what the point of this video is to make you see how the character traits you have today were being shaped way before you got to the situation that you're in today. And matter of fact, your worldview right now, what you believe you're capable of doing, is because of so many different factors. So we're going to be looking into those factors and what basically sets them up. I want you guys to take this metaphor. I want you to look at your life like it's a movie. You're the director, you're the actors, you're the people responsible for the distribution who gets to see your movie. And that's chapter 1 of this video. We're going to be talking about setting up the scene. Growing up in a predominantly white primary school and then a predominantly black secondary school, one of the natural talents that I had is already from the very jump into my adulthood, my personality already had a wide range of character traits which I could bring into any environment that I was in. I was used to being around people who were similar to me and people who were completely different. So I knew exactly how to sort of be congruent in those social situations. Basically, have my personality so that I wasn't somebody that stood out too much. And I never knew it at the time. That's what shaped who I was. When people would ask me, why am I like this? Why am I able to make conversations with absolutely anybody? Why am I quite extroverted? Why am I quite, outgoing? The first thing I'd say to them is, no, I'm just a natural extrovert. I don't know about you guys, but maybe you do something similar where you look at your personality and you believe that you are that way just because you was born that way. Like being an introvert or an extrovert is some sort of genetic DNA makeup that you're born with and it can't ever change. You fail to look at all the other things that basically help set up the stage for the point that you're in today. So I spoke to you guys about a movie, how we set up the scene before we bring the actors and the performers onto the stage. And when you think about a scene, what basically goes into making a movie scene? There's a wide range of different factors. So let's look at the first thing, the environment that you're in. That's going to shape the mood of the film, the theme, the reaction from the audience. It's going to set the stage for everything that's going to come. And in your case, your story is going to be where you grew up, your circumstances, your environment. Who basically had the most influence on you when you was a child? Was it your parents? Was it your friends? What was the cultural things that basically made you who you are today? All of these things have an impact on who you are today. So a lot of your beliefs, really, you would like to think they're naturally your beliefs, but they're not. Your beliefs are just a combination of influences in your life, and you've taken those on board unconsciously. So what's the story that you're writing currently in your life? What's the job you're doing right now? And why do you do that particular job? Do you have a significant other? Do you not have a significant other? And if so, why? See, all of these things impact who you are currently in this moment in time. Just like everything that goes into the writing of the script impacts the overall direction of the film. I mentioned earlier that the things that set up my life was sort of, I was moving around from school to school when I was younger. So like I said, similar to a chameleon, I was always shaping my personality to the environment that I was in. Consciously, this built an insecurity in me because this created a sense of codependency, right? Every single place that you go to, you're trying to fit in. But on the other side, on the good side, I was able to basically adapt my personality because there were so many traits to my personality. I wasn't just one personality that fit in one box. Maybe you're one sort of personality. You grew up around people who were relatively the same, family that was the same, cultural beliefs are the same, and anything that challenges those beliefs, you sort of have a lot of resistance towards. Maybe like me, because of your environment of moving around or whatever that was for you or whatever that looked like for you, you're more open-minded to taking on new ideas. But essentially, the person you are today was set way before you even knew it. But something happened after that sort of stage was set for you. After that initial script of your life was written, there's something that followed it, which you're probably not aware of, which I'm going to make you aware of, which took me till 31 to actually realize. And that's chapter 2, the performance. I don't know if you guys live in a major city or not. Leave a comment below on where you live, what time it is there, and what sort of resonates with you with this video. But I pretty much, when I was 18 years old, I moved over to London City. I wanted to move to a major city. I was pursuing a music career. And I thought the best place to go is a major city in the UK, which was London. Opportunities, all the musicians I knew were from there. And there was a lot of opportunity in my head. That's how I perceived it. When I moved to London City, there were so many different things. There was things like Broadway shows, in the city centre. It's a very busy city. Shopping opportunities, museums, culturally, there's always something to do from Monday to Sunday. And I say that to say this chapter, I'm going to be talking about a performer. You can think of this as a metaphor for a performer for a show, like a theatre show. Maybe an actor who's performing on camera in a film or TV series. Or a performer maybe for just like an event that's happening. There's different types of performers. But I want you guys to think of performers. Performers have one thing all in common that they're trying to do. In some shape or form, they're trying to perform in a way that basically pleases the audience that's watching them. The actor, although the only people he's performing to is the camera, the script that was written that he's now performing to the camera has the audience in consideration, the emotions they're going to go through. And the first chapter I spoke about setting the stage, the things in your childhood that influenced who you are today. But those influences then became a performance because you see a lot of your personality, like I said, was shaped based through circumstances, not through your own choosing. Now I want you guys to look at your own life. What are some of the things that you used to do to impress other people? What are some of the ideas, the habits that you currently have right now, which weren't initially yours, but you sort of picked them up to fit in within your social circle? What sort of fashion sense? What sort of music taste? What really resonates with you and what really resonates with you simply because other people like it? And you have to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself with this exercise isn't going to work. Now, the important thing in this video that I'm going to be discussing in chapter 3 is that doesn't have to be the case forever. There is a way in which you can actually shape your personality to becoming the sort of person you can admire. See, when I was 28 and I finally realized my life was going in the wrong way, I had so many questions I had to ask. What were the circumstances that led me into the position that I was currently in? But once I reached that certain age, I realized that a lot of the stuff I was doing was just noise. There was a lot going on in my life, but nothing really helping me progress. That's because the script that I was performing to wasn't written by me. It was someone else's story. And I decided at that point that it's time for me to rewrite the script. And that's chapter 3 of this video, rewriting the script. I mentioned earlier that long before the movie, the film, the show that you're watching or the event is thrown, the script of that particular thing is written before it's, distributed to us, the audience. And it's done with intentions. Every little detail is accounted for. The success you want in this world is when you have the creativity of a Michael Jackson, but the strategic mind of a Michael Corleone. What do I mean like that? You need to essentially dream like an artist, but move like a mastermind. Although one side of you should definitely be creative with your ideas, your influences, your background, and be able to bring that off on the forefront of whatever you're pursuing. You also have to be strategic because there's nothing worse than being a starving artist. So how do you rewrite your script? What you've got to do now is you've got to be conscious of the influences that you let into your life. Let me ask you up until now, how successful do you believe you can be? And if so, why do you believe that? Is it because there's only a set group of people who are successful around you? What's your expectations of what that road to success would look like? There's no scenario where you just sit there and the success comes to you. To rewrite your script, you have to rewrite the way you think. You can do this by changing the inputs you've had. Similar to how you had the inputs of your family, your friends, your teachers, everyone you grew up around, you can now get into books, content, different styles of videos that are going to influence the way you think. On my channel, I speak about identity change because I cover a wide range of these factors that go into the way you think. Hopefully this video changes the way you think. Leave a comment on what you've got for this video so far. But once you've figured out you can actually change the influences in your life, what you then next got to do is you got to decide who you actually want to become. See, I believe most people are not successful simply for one reason. And I know this because this is the reason why I didn't know what to pursue until I was 28 and I finally started asking these questions. It's because most people don't have clarity. They haven't looked at their background, their influences, the things that has basically shaped them, and asked themselves what path best suits my personality, my interests, what I want to do. And this isn't an overnight job. Unfortunately, you're going to have to look at different paths. I can tell you for me, personal brand, there's a wide range of reasons I got to this point. But this video isn't about me. Really picture where you want to go with your life. Your interests, what do you actually like? And to do this, you need a bit of time by yourself. Usually these sort of ideas come to me when I'm walking to the gym. Sometimes when I wake up the first few minutes of the morning, it comes into my head, maybe before I go to sleep at night. But usually clarity comes when your mind is silent, not when you're busy doing work or doing whatever it is in your day. And it's only when you got clarity that can you write the script for your life intentionally. This is why I said at the start, the script is written with intention by the director, and you are the director of your own movie. So what movie are you going to write? This is an exercise that I used to basically give myself a bit of clarity when I was struggling to figure out what I was going to do next in my life. I jumped from hustle to hustle. Hopefully, this video has given you guys a bit of clarity, made you understand who you are a little bit, and maybe actually helped you have a clearer picture. See, the self-improvement I speak about isn't just about the habits, the tricks. It isn't even just about psychology. But we got to start off with the way you see the world and why you see the world the way you see the world. Once we've got that, we can then move to everything else.